Welcome back, everybody. Well, it's your Cape Rugby TV. Just before the break, we did tell you that we would be taking a look at the Challenge Cup that has now been that happened this past weekend. Faisal,
I think also, from the Challenger Cup, it's also building in the sense of working towards in terms of what your plans or what the goals are for next year as well.
All right. Well, we managed to get a little bit of a behind-the-scenes video there, folks. Let's take a look at this, and then we'll come back to Alistair Taste and Faisal Fulton to take a look at the Challenge Cup this year.
Welcome to everybody. It's cold evening to get you guys out here. It's nice to see the turnouts. From our side, it's just going through the competition. Hamburg, obviously still got a game outstanding, but looking at Cook, Winsmeal and Young Wesley, Police, Albans and Retreat. So that signifies the position that you ended in the log. First round, unfortunately, you might play them again at home or the knuckle people. Everybody understand that. Then draw to determine whether in pool A, B, C or D. B.
Our club is here to find out about the Challenge Cup, which it's a good thing for Western Province Club Rugby, and I think that is how we will identify talent in the Western Province. Very good. We've put structures in place. We're basically creating a holistic environment at the club. Yeah, one game at a time, and we take it from there. There's only one big team, is Manamaga Rangers.
Hey.
C.
Interesting. Couple of unknown variables there. Some guys that we haven't played in a while. So looking forward to it. And then some of your usual suspects, guys that we've already taken on earlier in the year, so we know what to expect. Hopefully it's still the same. Obviously they'll have some changes on their side. But interesting, interesting draw. We've got at least about more than 50% of our draw is teams that we haven't played for some time. So it makes things interesting, and it keeps our guys hungry and looking forward to the season, or the second round at least of the season.
Yes, of course. I think it's the second round. I think I want to confess. I think we didn't play well on the league, so I think we want to make up. I think that's a new challenge for the boys. Because they're going to play with other teams that are not familiar. I think that's a challenge for us.
All right, folks. There we go. That was, of course, the draw at Newlands. Faisal, Sahid Blake, Max Macapella, the guys from Peninsula. And of course the draw there, but nice to see everybody getting through to Newlands, even though it's cold weather. People enjoy the draw. They love sitting around. Alistair, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, look, I mean, everybody...
I don't know if you've been involved in the draw before.
I haven't been involved in the draw, but just clubs in general, like getting to connect with one another. Coaches, there's always a chat after a game in a parking lot, but now you're in one big room, you can chat about, and you see who you're playing against in your next round.
No, definitely. I think it's fantastic to see all the clubs come together. And also, I won't say reminisce, but, chat about the season and what's happening and that there. So, yeah, a cold, wet evening, but you had the numbers there. Everybody was out. And it just shows the eagerness and the willingness from the club.
Well, that's the thing, you mentioned it. And I think the way that you were talking on Monday night, there's such a good spirit amongst everybody. And I love the idea that we said it doesn't matter where this Challenge Cup is. It is a cup on its own. It's a tournament on its own. And it's not a reflection of your club, where you're playing. And so the amazing thing is just how excited everybody is to be playing in this. Whether they were playing in a City League or Super League A, it was game on. It's time for battle, and we're looking for big games, and it's so exciting.
No, definitely. I think also, JP, the one thing is we've also got to understand, I take my hat off to many of the guys that came out there. They keep rugby going in the community. And I think we've always said it, it's not about whether you at the top or the bottom or, you're playing for promotion or whatever it is. It's about
the playing on a Saturday, the keeping that enjoyment, that that spirit going within the community, and these what these guys are doing on a Saturday,
Yeah, so let's quickly take a look then at the pools while we've got you with us. In Pool A, folks, so Faisal, Pool A. So Faisal, just for the record, you take the teams from the 3 leagues, there's 28 teams, and then they get drawn into different pools. You obviously first look at the numbers, because I think last year you had 5 pools, but this year you've got 4 pools, equal numbers, 7 in each pool.
Yeah, so basically like last year, 4 pools.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we try and work at our strength versus strength. So obviously the leagues differ in terms of strength. So you'll take all the teams that ended 4th, they'll basically draw in terms of which pool they're going to go, A, B, C, or D. So all the teams ended 5th, A, B, C, or D. And that's basically it.
Let's take a look then at the pools for the Challenge Cup. In Pool A, it's Temperance and Cities, Silverleaf, Manenberg Rangers, Thistles, Albions, Whistling Wheels, Lagunya. In Pool B, we see Suburbans, Blue Jets, Silvertree, Gordons Bay Pioneers, Young Wesleys, Cloutiesville and Retreat. In Pool C, it's Windmill United, Titans, Stelkor, Excelsior, Forokai, Licha and Blakes. And then in Pool D, Northerns, Bishop Lavis, Police, Blackheath, Imikawi Peninsula, Young Ideas and Young Stars. All right, let's break that down a little bit, guys, from the beginning there. Faisal, that first pool, Temperance and Cities, Silverleaf. I must say, for me, I don't see too many derby matches here offhand. That's a nice spread.
Yeah, but I see 3 there.
You see 3?
Yeah, I see Temperance, Cities, Rangers. I see Thistles, Temperance, Cities. I see Thistles, Manenberg Rangers. If I go back in history.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm seeing a little bit more when I'm thinking Temperance and Cities. I'm thinking Suburbans and all right. So good point, Alice. I'm glad you brought that up. There's a couple of derbies there. In Pool B, Suburbans and maybe Silvertree. A Retreat.
Silvertree, Retreat.
Yeah. So some interesting games there as well. Gordons Bay Pioneers a little bit closer to home for them would probably be maybe Cloutiesville. Yeah. All right, guys. So some interesting draws there in Super League C with Windmill United. What are your thoughts, Alistair?
So in the C, you got Blakes and Excelsior. They share the same field.
Yeah.
They had Cloutiesville. That's definitely a derby. Stellenbosch Coronations. Also coming there would be a nice big game. Is
it too early though, Faisal, to look at the pools and think someone's going to dominate in a pool?
Look, it's always difficult to go on, your first round because you're playing against different teams in different pools and that there. So, it's a little bit early, I think. I think, most of the teams there, missed out in terms of promotion league. You look at Manenberg Rangers, some of the guys are quite, strong. So I expect them to also be doing quite well in that. They're looking at Pool D. There's a number of teams there, that, I think,
Pool D looks
like they will have a good.
A little bit of a pool of death, Pool D. All right, so of course, one of the things that you had to do in your draw, last question, is that once you had completed the draw of the pools, you still had to establish who's playing at home first.
Yeah. Look, it's always about fairness, At the end of the day, if I look at the pools and if you look at the draws, it's always about who plays at home, who plays away. Which is understandable. You've got traveling costs. You also got, derbies and stuff. The one thing is also with some of the games, you have people sometimes complaining about, but we play them in the first round. We play them at home. So the most fair way is, number one, like we said, we draw for the pool. The next draw will be for the home games. So each team basically had to draw in terms of which games they will play at home or which clubs they will play at home.
Yeah. Faisal, it's been great having you on the show with us. We know that you've got to go and work out some more fixtures and so on. Am I right? Is it fixtures?
Yeah, it's fixtures, but it's more postponements. As I said earlier on, we sort of got noticed some of the fields might be, a bit of a challenge, waterlogged. So, it's trying to find the openings and the gaps in terms of when the games can be played now.
All right, folks. Faisal Felton will join us again next week. We'll carry on talking club rugby. In studio with us, Alistair Tace, and swapping seats now with Faisal is Renzel Botman. He'll be joining us in a second or so. We'll be back after the break. Don't go away.